I thought I lost everything, but maybe I just lost who I wasn't meant to be. I walk through fire to survive, through every piece you left behind. And somewhere in the aftermath, I started finding parts of mine. The silence doesn't hurt the same, it doesn't cut me like before. It feels like space to finally breathe, like I'm not broken anymore. I used to search for you in everything, in every place, in every sound. But now I'm standing on my own, without needing you around. And for the first time in a while, I looked at me and didn't fall. I saw someone still standing there, after losing it all. I thought your love defined my life, but losing you helped me survive. And now I see what I became, someone stronger through the pain. I met myself again, in the ruins of the end. Through the pieces you left behind, I found a life that's mine. I met myself again, not the one I was back then, but someone who can finally stand without needing your hand. I thought losing you was death, but it gave me back my breath. I still remember what we had, and I don't try to erase it now. 'Cause even all the broken parts are pieces of me somehow. You were a chapter in my life, not the ending, not the whole. Just a story I survived that helped me find my soul. And maybe love was never meant to stay the way we dreamed it would. Maybe it was meant to break me down, just to rebuild me good. Now I don't fear the empty space, I don't run from being alone, because I learned the hardest truth: I was always my own home. I don't need to chase the past, I don't need to make it last. 'Cause everything I lost in you led me back to something true. I met myself again, through the fall and through the pain. Every scar became a light, leading me back to life. I met myself again, and I finally understand. I don't need to be loved by you to know who I am. I thought losing you would end me, but it helped me start again. I used to beg for you to stay. Now I thank you for walking away, because if you never left, I would have never found myself. And maybe that's the truth of love. Sometimes it breaks you, to rebuild you. didn't expect you. And maybe that's why it feels different. You don't feel like the past I knew. You don't rush, you don't pretend. You don't ask me to be someone I'm not trying to be again. There's a quiet in the way you speak, like you understand the space I need. And every time you look at me, there's nothing there I have to read. No pressure to become something, no fear of where this has to go. Just two people standing still, letting something slowly grow. And I don't feel the need to run or build my walls up to the sky, because for once I'm not afraid of what's behind your eyes. I've been here before, I know the cost. I know what it means to get lost. But something in you feels different, like I don't have to be distant. I'm slowly letting you in, not rushing where I've been. Every step, every breath feels safer than the rest. I'm slowly letting you stay, not pushing you away, not falling too fast this time, just letting it feel right. I don't need forever now, I just need something real somehow. You don't try to fix my scars, you don't ask me to forget. You just sit with who I am, and somehow that's enough instead. You don't promise me the world, you don't speak in perfect lines, but every word you say to me feels honest every time. And maybe that's what scares me most, not losing you but letting you matter. Because I know how deep it goes when something real starts to shatter. But I don't feel that storm in you, I don't feel that silent goodbye. I just feel something steady that doesn't make me question why. I don't wanna lose myself, but I don't wanna run again. So I'm standing in the middle, learning how to trust again. I'm slowly letting you in, through the cracks beneath my skin. Every fear, every wall, you don't try to break them all. I'm slowly letting you stay in a way I couldn't before. Not because I need you now, but because I want something more. I don't need to fall apart just to give you my heart. I used to think love had to hurt to prove that it was real. But maybe love can feel like this, safe, quiet, steady. And maybe that's what scares me, 'cause I don't want to lose it. I'm slowly letting you in, and I don't know where it ends. But for the first time in my life, I'm not falling, I'm choosing. And maybe that's what love is meant to be. I used to be scared of losing, of falling, not anymore. I remember how it felt before. Every step was on the edge. Every word could start a storm. Every silence felt like death. I was always bracing for the fall, waiting for the cracks to show. Like love was just a ticking clock, counting down to letting go. But something changed inside of me. Somewhere along the way, I stopped expecting everything to slowly break and fade. And now I stand in something real, without the fear I used to know. Not because I can't lose it, but because I've learned to let go. I've been through the fire, I've felt what it can do, and now I'm not afraid of loving something true. I'm not afraid anymore of what I felt before, of losing everything or walking out that door. I'm not afraid anymore of giving you my heart, because I know if it breaks again I won't fall apart. I face the darkest nights, I've walked through every scar, and now I know no matter what, I'll be okay where I am. I don't hold on out of fear, I don't love just to survive. I don't stay where I'm not seen just to feel like I'm alive. I've learned to stand without a hand, to breathe without a name, to build a life inside myself that no one else can take. And loving you doesn't feel like risk, it doesn't feel like losing ground. It feels like something I can choose without fear of pulling me down. Because I know who I am now, and I won't disappear again. Even if the world falls apart, I'll still know where I stand. I don't run, I don't hide, I don't bury what's inside, because the truth is finally clear. I survived my greatest fear. I'm not afraid anymore of the pain or of the fall, of giving everything I have or losing it all. I'm not afraid anymore of loving someone real, because I know my heart is strong enough to heal. I've been broken, I've been lost, I've been down on my knees, but I rose from everything that once destroyed me. I used to think I needed love to feel like I belonged, but now I know I was whole all along. And loving you is not my weakness. It's just something I choose. lose me. I'll stand tall through anything, through the dark, through the unknown, because I've learned the greatest truth: I am strong on my own. I'm not afraid, not of love, not of loss, not anymore. Love isn't just a feeling, it's a decision. There are days the world feels heavy, days we don't see eye to eye, moments where the silence lingers longer than it should sometimes. There are nights we both feel distant, like we're drifting out of place. But even in the quiet tension, I still reach for your face. Because I know what we've been through, I know what we've built from pain. And I'm not here for perfect moments, I'm here to stay through change. And love is more than just a spark, it's what remains when sparks are gone. It's choosing you in every moment when the feeling isn't strong. I don't need a flawless story, I don't need a perfect line, I just need to know you're with me through every space and time. I choose you every day, not just when it feels the same, not just when it's easy, or when everything's okay. I choose you every day, through the fire and the rain, through the highs, through the lows, through the moments that we change. It's not about forever words or promises we say, it's about the love we live when I choose you every day. I've seen love fall into pieces, I've seen hearts just walk away. But what we have is something different, it doesn't fade that way. Because we talk through every fracture, we don't let the silence win. We don't turn away from conflict, we let each other in. And maybe that's what makes it real, not that we never break, but that we hold on to each other through every fault we face. You don't have to be perfection, I don't need to be the same, we just need to keep choosing to stay inside this flame. I've learned love isn't just a feeling, it's something you defend. It's standing when it's hardest and choosing it again. I choose you every day, even when we lose our way, even when the road gets dark and words begin to fade. I choose you every day, not because I'm afraid, but because I know what we have is something we both made. I don't need a perfect love, I don't need it to be easy, I just need to wake up knowing you're still choosing me. I used to think love just happened, like something out of our control. but now I see it clearly. It's something we hold, and every day we wake up, we decide not to let go. Not to let go. I choose you every day, through the calm and through the pain, through the parts we don't understand and the parts we can't explain. I choose you every day, not out of fear, not out of need, but because you're who I stand with and everything I believe. And if the world falls down around us, if everything else fades away, I'll still be right here beside you, choosing you. Every day, love isn't just what we feel, it's what we stay for. We're not perfect, we never were, but we're still here. There are nights we raise our voices, words we wish we could take back, moments where the space between us feels like something we might crack. There are times we stop listening, times we let our anger lead, like we're standing on the edge again of everything we used to be. And I see the fear inside you, like you're scared we'll fall apart, like every fight is just another step away from where we start. But I've seen what losing feels like, I've lived through walking away, and I won't let a moment break us if we're willing to stay. We don't have to be unbroken, we don't have to always agree, we just have to keep on holding to what we choose to be. Even when we break, even when we bend, even when the words we say don't make any sense, even when it hurts, even when it's hard, I won't let the storm we're in tear us apart. We're not made of perfect lines, we're made of truth and scars, and I'll still choose us even when we break. We've both got our defenses, walls we built from yesterday, pieces of a past that still try to pull us both away. But you don't walk out the door and I don't turn my back, we stand inside the fire instead of letting go like that. And maybe love is not about never falling into pain, but learning how to find each other through the damage and the rain. Because I don't want a perfect love that disappears when things get tough, I want the kind that stands its ground when everything gets rough. We don't need to win the fight, we don't need to prove who's right, we just need to not give up when it gets too much. Even when we break, even when we fall, even when the silence builds a wall between it all, even when it shakes everything we guide you through everything we feel. I used to think love ended at the first sign of pain, but now I know that's where it begins again. Because every time we fall apart, we choose to come back. Even when we break, we don't disappear. We don't turn to strangers, we don't run from fear. Even when we fall, we find our way again. Through the cracks, through the pain, through the places we've been. We're not just holding on to love, we're building something real. But I'll still choose you. Even when we break, we don't have to be perfect. We just have to stay. I used to not believe in tomorrow. Now I see it differently. I used to live like nothing stayed, like everything would fall apart, like every plan I ever made would end before it could start. But now I see it in your eyes, a calm I never knew before. Like we're not just surviving life, we're building something more. I don't just see the moment, I see the days ahead with you. Not perfect, not unrealistic, just something steady, something true. And even when the world feels loud and everything feels out of place, I still can see a future here in the quiet of your face. I don't need to escape anymore, I don't need to search for more, because something in the way you stay makes me wanna build today. I see a future I can see, not a dream but reality. Not a wish that fades away, but something here that's here to stay. I see a future I can see in the way you look at me. Not just loving what we feel, but love that's finally real. I don't know what comes next, but I know you're part of me. We don't have to rush the time, we don't need to figure it all out. We just walk it side by side through every fear and every doubt. There's something in the way we talk that makes tomorrow feel okay. Like even if the sky breaks down, we'll still find a way. I don't see perfection here, I see something we can grow. A life that isn't promised, but one we choose to know. And maybe that's what love becomes. Not the spark, not the flame, but the steady kind of fire that doesn't fade away. I'm not dreaming anymore, I'm just seeing what is yours and mine. And for the first time in my life, the future does like everything would break instead. But now I see it clear. The future starts right here, not in what we plan or say, but in the way we choose today. I see a future I can see, and it's you right next to me. Through the highs and through the lows, wherever life may go, I see a future I can see, built on something real in me. Not perfect, not unknown, but something we have grown. I don't need to wonder why, I just know we'll get it right. The future isn't far away, it's already starting here with you. Here with you. We don't need to find forever, because it's already here. We don't talk about forever like it's far away. We don't treat it like a promise we might lose someday. We live it in the quiet of a simple morning light, in the way you look at me when everything feels right. We've been through fire, we've been through rain, we've seen love break, we've known pain, but somehow through everything we became something that doesn't fade away. I don't need perfection in your eyes, I don't need a flawless life, I just need this moment breathing with you right by my side. And every fear I ever carried feels so distant and so small, because I finally understand it. I don't need to lose it all. I used to chase what I could not hold, I used to fear the growing old, but now I see what matters most is here with you, right close. Forever starts here, not in promises or years, but in every breath we take, without the weight of fear. Forever starts here, in the way because we say it loud, but because it's clear. I don't need tomorrow's light, because I have you tonight. We don't need to write it down, we don't need to prove a thing. We just live inside this moment and let it gently breathe. There's no chase, no running circles, no more searching in the dark. Just two souls that found each other without breaking their own hearts. And maybe this is what they meant when they said love finally stays, not in grand and perfect stories, but in ordinary days. Like coffee in the morning, like your hand inside my own, like finally understanding I was never alone. I don't need to look ahead, I don't need to wonder where, because everything I've ever needed is already here. Forever starts here, in the silence, in the air, in the way you make me feel like nothing else is there. Forever starts here, no more running from the fear, because I've already found what I was chasing years. And if the world disappears, I'll still find forever here. place beyond our reach. But now I understand. It's something we can keep. In every choice, in every day, in every time we choose to stay. Forever starts here, and I don't need anything else near, because everything I ever wanted is already here. Forever starts here, in every laugh, in every tear. Not because it never breaks, but because we're still here. We don't need to search the sky. We already found the reason why. Forever isn't far away. It's this moment, it's us. It starts here. Forever didn't end. It just changed form. We said forever like it was the end, but I've learned it's something more. It doesn't stop when moments fade. It lingers in your core. Now life moves on in quiet ways. The world keeps turning still, but there's a part of what we were that nothing can ever kill. I don't see us like I used to. I don't chase the past anymore, but I feel it in the silence, like footsteps on the floor. Not haunting, not painful, just something I can't ignore. A memory that shaped me and still stays at my core. Not everything is meant to stay. Not everything just goes away. Some things become a part of you in every single day. What remains after forever isn't love, isn't pain. It's the quiet understanding of what we couldn't change. What remains after forever is the version I became from everything we lived through and everything we gave. I don't hold on like before, but I don't forget anymore. I walk through life a little different, a little softer than I was. Like every loss I ever lived through had its reason, had its cause. You're not here, but you're not missing in the way you used to be. You became a part of something inside of me. And maybe that's what forever means. Not staying in one place, but becoming something timeless that no one can erase. I don't need to relive it, I don't need to feel the pain, but I carry what it taught me disappears. It just changes over time, and what we were is still alive inside this heart of mine. What remains after forever isn't loss, isn't regret. It's the way it shaped my story that I'll never forget. What remains after forever is the peace I now embrace, knowing love doesn't end, it just changes shape. And I don't need to go back to know I survived that. I used to think forever meant never letting go at all. I used to think forever meant, but now I understand. Even letting go is part of it all, and what we had still lives inside, just not the way it did in time. What remains after forever isn't something I can touch, but it's written in my silence, and that's enough. What remains after forever is the love that shaped my soul, not the ending, not the breaking, but how I grew whole. And I don't need to return to know what I've learned. Forever didn't end, it stayed inside me. If you asked me who I am, I wouldn't answer the same way twice. I used to think I was the pain, the memories I couldn't erase, the love that broke me into pieces I couldn't put in place. But now I see it all so clearly. From a distance I can't deny I wasn't just the broken parts, I was learning how to survive. Every version of my story, every fall I lived through then, wasn't where I ended, it was where I began again. And now I don't define myself by what I lost or what I fear. I define myself by how I stood through everything I carried here. I'm not the ghost of what went wrong, I'm not the echo of the pain. I'm everything that stayed alive after all that tried to change. I am not who I was, I am not what I became. In the middle of the fire, I learned to say my name. I am not who I was, not the broken, not the lost. I am everything I built from everything it cost. And every scar I carry now is proof I made it somehow. I don't look for old reflections in the mirrors of my past, because nothing there can tell me who I'm becoming at last. I don't chase what's behind me, I don't run from what I've seen, because even the darkest chapters still belong to me. And maybe that's the real healing, not forgetting what you've been, but standing in the ruins and still choosing to begin. I don't need to be perfect, I don't need to be whole, I just need to keep on living with everything I know. I stopped asking for a reason, I stopped needing absolution, because who I am right now is my own conclusion. I am not who I was, I am more than what I lost. I am built from every moment that I survived at any cost. I am not who I was, I am finally standing free, not defined by what broke me, but what's inside of me. And I don't need to go back to know I've moved past that. I used to think I needed answers to become someone new, but now I understand. The answers came from what I went through, and everything I thought I lost was shaping who I am. I am not who I was, I am stronger than before, not the version of my past, but something so much more. I am not who I was, and I don't need to be, because everything I lived through built the truth in me. And now I stand here, finally knowing I am everything I'm becoming. I am not who I was, and I don't want to be. After everything I've been through, I finally asked the question, not what did I lose, but why did it all happen? I carried love like a heavy storm, I carried loss like burning hair, I carried silence in my chest like it was always there. I thought each moment had a meaning, each ending had a reason why, but time just kept on moving forward without stopping to reply. And now I stand here in the quiet, with everything I've survived, looking back at all the chaos that somehow kept me alive. And I don't know if it was kindness or just randomness in disguise, but every broken road I walked still led me here in time. Maybe nothing comes with answers, maybe nothing comes with truth, maybe all we ever get is what we learn to move through. to understand. I used to think there was a purpose hidden underneath it all, like every fall I ever took was building up a wall. But maybe life is not a story with a meaning carved in stone. Maybe it's just what we carry when we walk it all alone. And if that's true, then I accepted every scar, every mistake, because even without the answers, I am not the same. And maybe that's the only meaning that I was meant to find. Not why it all was happening, but who I became inside. I stopped looking for direction, I stopped asking for a sign, because even in confusion, I survived every time. What was all this for, if not to break and restore, if not to lose and rebuild something deeper than before? What was all this for, if not to learn I can endure, even when I don't have answers, I still move forward. And maybe that is enough. Maybe that is the truth I trust. I used to think I needed meaning to justify the pain, but now I understand. Meaning doesn't work that way. It's not found in the moment. It's built from what remains. It's built from what remains. What was all this for? Maybe I don't ask anymore, because I'm still standing here after everything before. What was all this for? Maybe I was meant to grow, not into someone perfect, but someone who knows that even without the answers, I still choose to move forward. Maybe there was no reason, or maybe I am the reason. No one prepares you for this. Not the love, not the loss, but the weight of still being here. I wake up and I keep moving, even when I don't feel whole. There's a silence in the morning that settles in my soul. It's not sadness, not excitement, just something in between, like carrying every version of everything I've seen. I've loved, I've lost, I've broken, I've rebuilt what fell apart. and all of it still echoes inside a beating heart. And no one really tells you how heavy life can feel, not because it's unbearable, but because it's real. There's no map for this condition, no instructions for the mind, just a quiet kind of knowing you keep moving through time. This is the weight of being alive, not just surviving, but still inside every memory, every breath, every moment left. This is the weight of being alive, not a burden I deny, but something I carry through everything I do. And even when it feels too much, I am still enough. There are days I feel invisible, even standing in the light, like I'm present in the moment, but not fully in the fight. And I don't know if that's normal or just part of who I've been, but I've learned to stop resisting what I feel within, because everything I've gone through didn't disappear with time. It just rearranged itself inside my mind. And maybe that's the truth of living, not being fixed or healed, but learning how to hold it all without needing to be sealed. There's no final destination, no place where it all ends, just a constant conversation with everything within. This is the weight of being alive, not light, not easy, not simplified, but something I have learned to face without running from its place. This is the weight of being alive, and I don't need to deny that every scar, every breath is how I survive. And even when I fall inside it all, I still stand tall. Oh, I still stand tall. I used to think I had to fix myself to finally be free, but now I see there was nothing broken in me, just a human learning how to be alive, fully, completely. This is the weight of being alive, and I don't run, I don't hide, I just carry what I know and let the moments flow. This is the weight of being alive, and somehow I'm still alright, not because it's easy, but because I try. And if this is what it means to be, then I will keep being me. The weight doesn't disappear, you just learn how to hold it. No answers came, but I kept moving anyway. days I didn't understand why I had to feel so much, like every step I ever took was never quite enough. But I stopped asking for a reason, I stopped waiting for a sign, 'cause nothing ever came to me except the passing of time. And somewhere in that silence I learned something true inside. You don't need to know the ending to continue with your life. So I walk through every morning with no map and no guide, just the simple fact I'm here and I'm still alive. I don't chase what I can't hold, I don't fear what I don't know. I just take the next small step and let the moment go. Still I walk forward, through the shadows, through the noise, through every broken silence, through every fading voice. Still I walk forward, not because I understand, but because I still can stand with my own hands. And even if I don't know why, I refuse to stop and lie. I've been lost in every direction, I've been broken more than once, but I never stayed in pieces, no matter how it comes. There's a rhythm in my breathing, there's a weight that I can trust. Not everything is meaningful, but everything is us. And maybe strength is not a feeling, maybe it's just what you do when nothing feels like certainty, and still you follow through. I don't need a destination, I don't need a perfect plan, I just need the next decision to keep being who I am. There's no finish line to reach, there's no truth I must complete, just the quiet act of moving underneath my feet. Still I walk forward, even when the road is unclear, even when my thoughts are heavy, even when I feel fear. Still I walk forward, not because I'm unafraid, but because I've learned to live inside the choice I made. And if I ever fall behind, I'll still rise one more time. I used to think I had to win, or somehow get it right, but now I know just staying in the fight is more than I was built for once. And yet I still become. Still I walk forward, through everything I cannot change, through the echoes of my past, through the parts I can't arrange. Still I walk forward, with no answer in my hand, but I don't need to understand to still withstand. And even if the road is long, I know I carry on. No answers came, but I kept going, and that was enough. I used to ask the question over and over again, but now it fades before it forms. I spent so many years searching for reasons I could hold. Like every pain I ever felt had a story to be told. But nothing ever answered me, not clearly, not in time. So slowly I stopped asking why things had to align. And strangely in that silence, something in me settled down. Like I was no longer fighting what I couldn't figure out. I still feel everything I used to, I still carry what I've been, but I don't need an explanation for the world I'm living in. There's peace in letting questions fade before they take control. Not everything needs solving, some things just unfold. I am no longer asking why, no more reaching for the sky, no more chasing after truth. In everything I do, I am no longer asking why. I just let the moments pass me by, not because I don't care anymore, but because I don't need more. And somehow I am lighter, even without reply. The answers I once needed don't feel important now, because life kept moving forward without waiting anyhow. And I learned to stop resisting what I cannot redefine. Not everything needs purpose to still feel like it's mine. The pain didn't disappear, the memories still remain, but they no longer define me or pull me back again. I just exist inside the motion of whatever comes my way, and that feels more like freedom than anything I could say. I used to think I needed meaning to survive what I went through, but now I understand the silence was the answer too. I am no longer asking why. I let the questions drift and die in the space between my thoughts, where nothing is forgot. I am no longer asking why. I just live and let it lie. And somehow in this letting go, I finally know that peace was never waiting, it was always inside me. I used to think I'd understand if I just tried enough, but now I see. But now I see. Understanding was never the stuff of peace I was searching for. Just acceptance at the carry it alone. I I am. And in this quiet surrender, I return to myself. No more questions, just breathe, just now. Nothing is gone. Nothing is arriving. It's all still here. I used to think life moved too fast, or maybe I was left behind. But now I see it differently. Nothing fell out of time. The past is not behind me. The future isn't far away. They both exist inside the moment. I'm breathing in today. The pain I thought had disappeared still lives, but not as chains. It's just a part of everything that quietly remains. And I don't try to separate what I feel from what is real, 'cause everything I am now is something I can feel. There's no need to divide it, no need to make it clear. Everything I thought was missing is already here. Everything is still here. The love, the loss, the fear. But none of it is pulling me in any direction near. Everything is still here, and I don't disappear inside the weight of what I feel. I just stay here. And somehow in the stillness, I am finally clear. I don't need to fix the silence. I don't need to chase the sound. 'Cause even in the emptiness, there's something holding ground. Every memory is breathing, every moment has a shape. Nothing truly ever leaves us, it only changes state. And I am not a different person from the one I used to be. I am just the full expression of everything in me. No more running from the layers, no more pushing them away. I let everything exist now, without needing it to stay. I used to think I had to choose what to keep and what to lose, but everything is part of me, even what I cannot prove. Everything is still here, not loud or not unclear, just existing in the space of every passing year. Everything is still here, and I don't hold it near or push it far away again. I simply let it be, and in that letting I am free. I used to reach for meaning in every fragment of my past, but now I see nothing ever truly lasts, and nothing ever truly leaves. And I no longer disappear inside the weight of what I know. I let it flow. Oh, everything is still here, and I hold it without fear, because nothing here is missing. It's all clear, and I am not becoming, I'm already here. Everything is still here, and so am I. No pressure to evolve, no need to arrive. I used to measure everything by who I thought I should be, like life was just a ladder I had to endlessly climb free. But nothing ever asked me to become more than I am. The pressure was a story I built with my own hands. Now I move without direction, not lost, not trying to escape, just existing in the motion of whatever takes its shape. And strangely I feel lighter without chasing what's ahead, like I finally stopped the noise inside my head. There's nothing I must fix now, nothing I must prove. Even in my stillness I continue to move. I don't need to become anything, not stronger, not complete, not a version of a future self I'm trying hard to meet. I don't need to become anything, I already am what I am, and that is more than enough than anything I planned. No destination calling me, just this moment underneath. I used to think improvement was the only way to live, like every flaw I carried was something I should give. But nothing here is broken, not in the way I believed. It was only my perception of what I thought I need. Now even my confusion has a place inside my day. It doesn't need correction to simply stay. And I don't feel behind now or ahead of where I stand. I just exist within myself without demands. There's no race I'm running, no finish line in sight, just the quiet understanding that I am already right. I don't need to become anything, I don't need to change my skin. I am everything unfolding from the place I've always been. I don't need to become anything, not more, not less, not new, just the simple act of being is all I have to do. And in that truth I settle, without anything to prove. I used to think I wasn't enough unless I reached some higher place. But now I know there is no missing space, nothing waiting to be fixed, only life as it exists. That is all I needed from the very start. Nothing to become, just this.